Hello and welcome to Comics with Jose. My name is Jose. I love comics and I want to share them with you. Follow me on Twitter at artofjvelez or on Instagram at jvelez622 where I share some doodles that I work on and a little comic book story that I'm currently working on as well, free of charge. I do this for fun and I just enjoy talking and sharing comic books. Like, follow, and subscribe if you like the channel. We're going to go over comic book stories that I have. I own a lot of comic books over the years. We're going to use digital, however, because it's easier to share on digital on your computer screen or phone. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you've been enjoying these videos. Today, I got something I think you all will enjoy. Many people haven't seen this series before. It's called Invasion. This is from DC Comics back in 1988. So this was like a summary or like a winter event that involved the Justice League and a couple of their books during that time. It's okay. It's not a really, nothing important really happened in here. It was just a story, an event, I guess. But what we're here for is for Todd McFarlane. Now, Todd McFarlane did not, as you can see here, it's one of three. He did not do all three books. He only did one and a half of the books. These books were very long. They were, I would say, probably the size of four books. So he ended up doing, when you think about it, um, this is quite heavy. So and it's quite thick and big. So he did one and a half. But it is absolutely positively really cool. You get to see him do a couple characters here that he normally doesn't do. He does not ink the entire thing. He only inks in the credits. This is Keith Giffen does the plot and the breakdowns. Bill Mantlo, rest in peace, did the script. Todd McFarlane does the pencils. Now, the inks were done. Chapter 1 is P. Craig Russell, who's, I think, very well inker. Al Gordon does Chapter 2. Joe Rubinstein's Chapter 3. He does do Chapter 4. So he will be the inker on the entire thing. What's going on doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna focus on the art. Like I said, I don't even have the complete. I have the series in its entirety. But for this purposes, we're just gonna be looking at one and a half. If you're interested, Invasion, you can still get them in back issues for not very much. But you can see all of the McFarlane tropes, and P. Craig Russell actually does a very good job inking him. So I'm thinking McFarlane probably did very detailed pencils because it seems like P. Craig Russell stuck an ink wherever McFarlane would normally dash. So we got about 50 people here, and these guys are gonna shoot him. But like I said, we're not really focusing on that. I want you to look at the nose and look at that's how he drew the Hulk. So that's pretty cool. Just seeing McFarlane, his crazy layouts, doing really cool things. P. Craig Russell really um, did did a very decent job. This was done when he was an Amazing Spider-Man, so he was doing Amazing Spider-Man and did this as well. So he's way faster than a lot of people give him credit for. Here, to save time, he did a silhouette, but instead of black, left it all white. Look at that. That is very cool. Um, so these people just start shooting these other people. They're looking for superpowers, is what they're doing. They're saying, how come Earth has so many superheroes? Um, so just some unwanting destruction. But at the end, there's just a few people. Um, so they thought they probably have more people than what they had here, but um, just seeing Todd McFarlane do, you can totally see his style, even though somebody else is inking him. Um, Still famous for his three-quarter shot in the back, just where you can see. So I'm just moving kind of relatively fast until we get past this part here. It'll start to pick up. There'll be superheroes and everything, but right now I love these designs, kind of like an egg sitting on like a nest. I really enjoy. Think that that's visually very attractive. So you normally don't see McFarlane do a lot of technology. He's when you read his Spawn, he normally does um, a lot of cities and stuff. So um, here he gets a chance to do some aliens and creatures. You normally just don't see him do that stuff. So, but you can see a lot of the stuff that makes him very uh, respected artist, and you can see why during this time, Todd McFarlane was probably one of the biggest artists there was. It's a shame he didn't ink the entire thing, but again, he was doing Amazing Spider-Man during this time, and I think he was doing the tail end of Hulk too. So a lot of stuff here. So um, you look at it and you probably look, well, it doesn't. Keep in mind he's not inking it, and he's probably doing this really fast. But even when he's doing it really fast, he's still. I mean, can you imagine? He penciled all these things because the inker is P. Craig Russell is putting all these marks, all these hatchings that he's known for. So again, saving time by putting silhouettes. So I love this. You don't see McFarlane draw a lot of outer space, and this is so cool. Just the planet and the shadow here. So it's a chance, like I said, to see McFarlane stretch different muscles that you normally don't see him do. So this is Adam Strange. Again, what the story is, it really doesn't matter. We're here for McFarlane art. That's it. So we've got a bit of an international or intergalactic, not international, just different species that invade the Earth. Um, my goodness, McFarlane is so good. Makes these aliens. So this is chapter 3. I believe this is Al Gordon, or chapter 2. I believe this is Al Gordon. So he's working on a different inker now. Real quick, I love look. You just don't see him doing this very much, but even putting the shadow of the moon on the planet. So uh, he's still very Al Gordon's still doing a pretty good job. Look at that. I mean, not all the ticks that McFarlane puts in there, but he's putting in quite a few. So I would love to see these pencils. I wonder if McFarlane had to have drawn all these marks because there the inker's putting them. So and the ones that he's not putting, so it tells you that McFarlane probably penciled the way he inks now. So he probably had the lead all over. So this is from the Omega Men, I believe. It's a lot of obscure DC characters, so it's very difficult to who they are. But I mean, it's still pretty cool. Just seeing Todd McFarlane do different things. I promise Superman will show up. There is no Batman. There's Batman I think has one scene in this series, which was a shame, but let me tell you, he drew him very well. In his one and only appearance throughout McFarlane's run, it was or McFarlane, this is so cool. Look at that. Oh, the guy can draw. Very hulkish. Oh, real quick, just a silhouette a little bit with the lines. He just the way he takes shortcuts, it even looks beautiful when he takes them. So he takes shortcuts, and it still looks pretty cool. So it's really fun to see him do outer space stuff. Like I said, I really like these buildings. I wonder if these look very. I think he's even got this. I think he reused this panel. Why not? When you're working on like all these books and you're doing like a triple size book, um, look, you know, like that. McFarlane is such a great storyteller. So, chapter 3 is Joe Rubenstein, who is a very steady, very professional. It's been inking for a long time. So, he probably did. If you take a look here, look how faithful. Look at all these marks. So, he really did something. Love the nose. Very Hulk. If you've seen Todd McFarlane do the Hulk, that's how he does him with that line there. Yeah, you can easily say these are very Hulk. If he had the brow, but definitely Hulk noses. Unfortunately, a lot of he's probably not very strong at it, but he's probably doing the best he can doing these intergalactic cruisers and all these things. It's just really cool to see McFarlane doing something that you just don't see very much. I mean, he doesn't put these in Spawn. It'd be nice. I mean, imagine if he did an outer space adventure that he drew with Spawn. So a lot of these, I think they're called Dominators. Just kind of there's just a lot of that. But so here it looks like they're set to invade the Earth. So still in chapter 3. Very McFarlane panel, even very, very, very just something typical where he just goes does a close up, but not close. You can just see partial of the. It's just very cool how he. Most people would have just shown the eyes or something like that. McFarlane shows you. I mean, look at this. Even puts part of the nose in there. It's just so cool. This is one of his tropes. The eyes. So looks like they're gonna execute more people. This guy's upset because this guy didn't even bat an eye. I mean, what are you gonna do, man? I mean, they're gonna pick people at random. They hit you, or they don't hit you. I mean, I guess. So you can see through these marks how great Todd McFarlane is. I mean, even working at all this speed, this guy is so good in his composition and so his layout. So here we go to chapter 4. So this is a McFarlane inked. He's doing the inks on this chapter. So this is all his. So so these guys are like Kryptonians, but they're not Kryptonians, but they're like Kryptonians. So they have all these powers, and so yeah, that's a lot of people probably that just died. But hey, can't make a good comic book if you don't have fatalities. So like I said, this story is okay. I didn't get this for the story. Bart Sears, if for those of you familiar with Bart Sears, he does the other half of the book. So Todd does the first part, and Bart Sears does the second half. And Bart Sears is a very, very solid artist, very good, but he's no McFarlane. So all right, so we have the Spectre, and look at this panel. I love this with just sitting on top of a. Look at this beautiful panel. So we're just gonna look at it again. So we're looking here and just at the very end and how the cape opens. McFarlane is just great at these capes. Look at that. Oh my goodness, he is such a great illustrator. I'm glad that for his creation he chose a character like Spawn with a cape. Man, I'm glad he put a cape on Spawn. Goodness gracious, imagine if he would have stayed on Batman. But that's all right. Spider-Man is not a bad consolation prize. You could almost see a Superman-esque. Um, you could take this drawing and turn it into Superman. So again, the purpose of this is just showing you his art. I'm not really this is just it's an okay story, I'm sure. Love this panel, love this cape. Very cool. So it looks like the Justice League is gonna get be getting involved, and so there's a lot of action. The only problem is that this action is with stuff people you don't care, characters you don't care, and that is a shame because this was touted as a. So this is the end of page of part one. So look at this, 88 pages. So that was just the first book. The second book is 88 pages, but he only does the second one. So or the half. So here comes number two. That was the back cover we saw. He does not do this cover. This is done by Bart Sears and Joe Rubinstein. So this is the guy that does the other half of the book. Again, a solid composer. But he's not McFarlane. I would have loved to have seen McFarlane do. So Todd McFarlane does chapters 1 and 2, and those are the only two that we're going to look at. We're not really going to concern ourselves with either the other two chapters or the last book because we're not here for anybody else. We're just here for Todd. So just giving you some. It's a kind of a bit of a waste because you would have loved to have seen Todd do some other things. I think they just really dropped the ball with him, man. They had the hottest artist at that time, and man, oh man, DC has had some opportunities with certain characters and or certain artists, and it just kind of messed it up, but that's all right. So here we go, and this is what I mean. He's now we're starting. We're cooking here. So look at this Superman. Look at the wonderful cape that he does, man. McFarlane it's such a thrill watching him go all out on this cape. If you've seen that pinup of his on the internet, that he did a pinup of Superman from the Superman special Walter Simonson did, which I am going to eventually get to because again I love Walter Simonson and I am going to show as much Walter Simonson as I can. There is a wonderful pinup by Todd McFarlane of Superman in the back. Very cool. So he's doing the best he can. I mean, these people are just talking. So I mean, McFarlane can only do so much in this thing. Love Firestorm, one of my favorite characters in the sense that I love his design. I love how he looks. I love the Firehead. So my other favorite character. So he's one of my favorite non-prime characters. The other one is from the Marvel is Angel from the X-Men. Love those huge wings of his. So here's that Batman image. Look at that. Um, Look at that. This is his one and only appearance. At least Braun. He's probably in the other part, but this is the only part that he appears in that McFarlane drew. Ah, what a waste. What a waste. They could have had Batman and Superman just basically. Oh, DC. Oh well. Be grateful for what we got. So we got 6 chapters with Todd McFarlane. So we're just kind of moving fairly quickly here. Um, Man, imagine if he would have inked all this. Sometimes you look at when other people. This is why he works his own inks. He's so much better at at inking than most of these professionals. Here we go. So this is an awesome image. Look at this. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful image of Superman. Oh, very cool looking firestorm. My goodness. This would have been awesome if this book would have started with this. It, this here is a coloring mistake. This is supposed to be skin. This is not supposed to be the cape, but the colorist screwed it up. So look at that. Oh, if he only would have had a chance to ink himself. Dude is such a great artist. So here we got Aquaman. If you only know Aquaman from the movies, Aquaman is that's not the old Aquaman. I think he is. Look at this. He even makes Aquaman look cool. Look, to all the Aquaman fans out there, I'm glad you like him. I don't care about Aquaman at all. Um, I think the movies are way better than the comic book ever was. I just he is not one of the characters that I care remotely about. It's like Namor. Look at this. Before I talk about Namor, look at this firestorm. Oh, God, so very cool. Namor, Aquaman, I don't care. Just dumb characters. Even John Byrne. I read it because John Byrne did a run on Namor. Look at this Superman. Oh, just amazing, amazing work. Oh my goodness gracious. Um, so John Byrne had a run on Namor, and I only was remotely interested just because it was John Byrne. Man, I don't care. I don't nothing. There's for the most part. Um, yeah, I won't read it. I won't read Namor. I won't read Aquaman. Get Todd McFarlane to draw Aquaman, and I'll buy it. That's it. Jim Lee. Jim Lee. We haven't seen too much Jim Lee here, I think, so we're gonna have to rectify that. So look at this. This is if this thing if he would have just done this, the first one had battles and stuff like that, but again, it's B, C, and D list characters. Who cares? We're here to see the big guys. So we're almost done here because I think there's a little bit more. And look at that. McFarlane is so good. And this is the last page. Love these vertical panels of his. He is a great storyteller at telling these these kind of panels and using that's a very cool. So Invasion 1 and 2 or 2.5. Like I said, he um, he didn't draw the rest. So pretty sure you can get him for dirt cheap out there if you're a McFarlane fan like me, and I am. So I absolutely just enjoy his art. So um, give him a check. But like I said, the story is okay. So if you just like looking at pretty pictures, hope you just you can just look at this video and pause it and try to examine every single one of his uh, great storytelling techniques. So, like, follow, subscribe. Bye.